Okay, we're rocking and rolling.
Rocking and rolling. All right, dude, grab your sword, man. All right. Oh. This is weird, man. I've never had a camera on me when
Should we do one of these? But you can sync them.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to do it in a way that you can see the.
I've never had a camera on me when I've been recording anything.
That's fine.
It
So
could be cool to do. You could start putting them on YouTube.
I could. I'm just kind of scared to do that. I think I should put my hood on for this. So we're here live with who do we got?
Are you nervous about the back of your head?
A little bit.
Ethan self-conscious about the back of his head.
Shut up, dude.
It's just the back of your head, dude.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as the front.
Oh, slam, dude.
That's your face.
Noble, I just want you to know that for a while there we were getting to be friends,
Yeah.
and that just is a revert back to enemy, which is fine. I'm okay with it.
I despise change.
And the thing about it is, I'm okay accepting that I'm ugly, and I think you should try to get there too.
Well, I'll never accept that on account of it's not true. I'm so good looking.
Delusion is a place to live in.
Yeah, you know what they say. Delusion and ignorance go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly.
They don't say that.
No, huh?
I've heard it.
You heard it now from one person.
Yeah, once you hear it once, that's heard.
And that's all that we have. So I think we're gonna.
Thanks to the mages.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So we got who do we got here?
Jack.
Yeah, that's Jack Ball. My name is Noble.
That's right. You guys, today's Valentine's Day in March
Sure.
because
Sure.
it's
Worm Moon.
Worm
It's the it's Pie Day.
Moon. Worm Moon is what I was hoping you'd say.
Worm Moon.
And what happened today, guys? We already know.
Step on it.
Step on it.
Yep, we put a record called "Step on It."
Do you guys like it?
Yeah.
I'll be real. I heard it enough times. I'm not super stoked on it anymore.
I want to change my answer to what Noble said.
We'll cut it. We can. Yeah.
I am proud of it. I think that we worked hard on it, and I think that we came up with some cool stuff. But it's definitely like I'll probably never listen to it.
Yeah. Is that okay? A couple questions. First of all, what? Secondly, how many times? I think I asked Jack this the other day. How many times do you think you actually have listened to each song on the record?
Jack definitely more than me.
He's mixing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mixed it, so I've probably heard. I mean, I was pretty realistic about my response, and I said around or over 200.
Yeah.
Which I think is a lot.
Crazy. I definitely I've got this thing where after we record it, Jack will send a bounce of what we came up with.
Yeah.
And I'll just listen to it on repeat, trying to come up with ideas. So I heard him a lot of times, that's for sure.
So there in this record, dude, it's groovy. It's a groovy record. Was that kind of the goal, or was it like you guys were jamming and you were like, "There's some groove going on. Let's pursue that." Because Kill the Crackle, pretty slamming, pretty banging. The song "Digi," 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, it wasn't as groovy.
Yeah.
I think that we've had a lot of different vibes on the other two records, and we had a few that had a little bit more groove, but we're like, why are we doing half measures? Let's do full measure groove on this one.
You know what?
I don't know exactly what came first.
Hedge Maze. I remember that one. It was that was groovy, right? I mean, that had some groove to it. Or I remember I think you had told me that there was a song. I don't remember who it's by, but it's a lady where she has a head sticking out of the dirt. Is the album cover.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah, you guys were saying. I remember you saying that was kind of the inspiration for that one.
Huge
and
fan.
I think this record is probably a little bit more in the groove train that one was in.
That's for sure.
I don't know what any of that means.
That's actually a cool thing to remember because, yeah, the lady with the head sticking out there, that's Funkadelic.
Maggot Brain.
Maggot Brain, which is the rockier version of George Clinton's projects, and the other one being Parliament. So if Hedge Maze was Funkadelic, this record is more like Parliament.
And by the way, George Clinton, not the president. Sorry, I thought.
Not the president.
Yeah, I didn't mean to bring that up. But
No, you're thinking of Abraham Lincoln.
you keep
Emancipation Proclamation author.
Little Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you wanted the groove. This one was like,
Yeah.
you went into it like, hey, we'll get some groove going, or not really? I mean, I guess It seems, I mean, this is probably maybe not a fair question to ask because most music probably just comes out. Or was it more of a planned thing?
It was more of a, hey, we have this one or maybe two ideas of songs that are pretty spanking, pretty grooving. So let's like go full bore spank style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually remember why we decided it so surely. I do know that we wrote like one or two that were on the groovier side, and then somewhere along the way we were like, instead of doing an album, let's do two like EPs, like shorter albums to split up these ideas a little bit. And because like on the other records, it was like, you know, whatever we came up with, we just put it on that same record. You know, like we had some groovier ones, we had some rock and roller ones, we had, you know, like Oregon Trail was on Crackle too, which was not
That's a
really
fun
either.
one. I remember when you guys played it at the Record Exchange. That was fun.
Oh,
You
for
heard
the release?
Oregon Trail, yeah.
Yeah,
Who on that track? Who was the one that said Oregon? Who said that?
I think that was me.
I freaking knew it, dude. I freaking knew it was you. Oregon.
But most of those ad libs are Jack. There's some really good ad libs in that song.
Yeah.
That song was also like a one taker. I just hit record. We had the instrumental recorded and we needed to do vocals. And we hadn't written them down, so we just hit record and then
you went for
we
it.
just went for it. But that was the last album.
It was all improvised.
Old news.
The reason why I brought that up is because we didn't really like have a specific idea for the sound of that record. So we're like, let's give that a try. So we split it up into Spank and Crank. And this record was the Spank one. For a while, I was pushing for the record to be called Spank, because I thought that would have been hilarious. But
I was on that train too.
but Kruby's level-headed. Carson.
Yeah.
We call him Kruby for the little mages at home.
Little Mage's home.
His nickname is the Kruby War Man, and he's very level-headed. He definitely will come up with some outlandish stuff, and he'll bring us back to earth a lot of the time.
And you need that.
It's true.
Yeah.
You need that.
Especially because Liam's no help. That guy's just as outlandish as us.
We call him Fight Boy.
Yeah, they're War Man and Fight Boy. They're like a crime.
And they go together.
Yeah.
You know, I'll say this. On tour, they're sleeping in the same bed.
That's
You
Do you know that for sure?
know that for sure?
You just had told me that a while back.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just calling it out. No,
That's why I said that. That's why, because they're the rhythm section. So.
Yeah, exactly. Rhythm section, melodic. What the other section?
Rhythm section and other.
And us.
They're War Man and Fight Boy, and we're the Peace Brothers.
Yeah.
And our catchphrase is, what are you gonna do about it, Fight Boy? and their catchphrase is, Peace Boys. How about a piece of my boot in your ass?
You got those down, dude, man.
Yeah, we.
Those are very recent. That's a new Mage lore.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right. I'll write that down.
we can go back to real stuff.
No, I think that's great because that just shows that sometimes you spank, sometimes you crank.
That's right.
That's kind of the point of them.
So I did want to ask Noble this because we just got done recording a little something, little podcast. You sing a lot in this new record.
Yeah,
A lot more than previous records.
Yeah, well, which was not super intentional, I don't think. Like, I don't know. When we decided to write this record, I feel like it's the most compartmentalized we've had the band, where it felt like we all figured out what we're really strong at, and then really like tried to move in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, Jack's always been mixing and mastering and stuff, but we went really all out on this, so Jack spent a lot of time doing that. And I don't know, I was really inspired by the direction we were going, and so I was writing a lot for it, and I think maybe that's all that led to me singing quite a bit.
Yeah. Did you write I've always wondered this. When you say you're writing songs, are you like physically with a pen or a pencil? Are
Well,
you
I've got, like,
writing
this-
or are you thinking about it?
Got a big feather and an ink container.
Like not like a feather, not like a fountain pen, not like a.
Not like a fountain pen, but maybe along those same lines. We don't need to get back into this conversation. No, but like, yeah, a big feather, and I got this scroll that I unravel. No.
Yeah.
It's always different. It's really always different. Sometimes, I mean, today, Jack and I just had our guitars, and we were writing some stuff, and the only way of writing we were doing was just playing and then going, hey, what if we did this? And
Yeah.
then we added that on there, and we're just kind of humming along to it, trying to figure out melodies, and sometimes lyrics will come from that.
The only thing that we did today and that we usually do, and that I know that you typically do, is you just write something like in your head or with a guitar or whatever, and then you or we just record it into like a voice memo.
Just like a real quick kind of thing.
Yeah, just so you don't, and that's honestly just so you don't forget it, and you can pick up where you left off.
Yeah, that's so cool.
But it's always different. Recently, I've gotten really into, like, just writing just to write. Because, like, a lot of the time, the only reason I'd be writing any poetry or lyrics or anything was for the, you know, the particular reason of trying to make a song from it. But now I'll just sit around and write words down, you know? Like, just to...
And that's interesting because you'll have where you're writing the music, and that's maybe a little bit different of a creative process than lyrics.
Oh, for sure.
Do lyrics typically come last for you guys, or do they come first?
With the Moon Mages, I'd say usually last.
Yeah, definitely usually last.
Definitely a lot more music heavy. Not that the lyrics aren't, but it just seems that it's kind of like because you'll have. I mean, you can have like a Bobby Dylan or a Blaze Foley, and the words are like pretty kind of up front. Not that the music's invalidated, but it just seems like. The main message is like we're spanking. You know?
We definitely tried to move a lot more in that direction on this record. Like, the lyrics had a lot more of a purpose than they have in the past, and not like, I just mean by and large, because we definitely had songs in the past that had more meaning, but we also would just write songs about ghosts, you know, like, just because it's fun.
What else are you gonna write songs about?
Who knows?
Yeah, but so I mean that's the thing though, is it's equally as rewarding to write a song about a ghost in a vase as it is to write a song about, you know, like Bobby on this record. The reason why it's called Bobby was because when I first started writing it, I was trying to evoke some Bob Dylan lyrics, like how they just kind of ramble and flow into each other, but then if you take out like 3 or 4 words at a time, there really is like some meaning and purpose to what is being said. And that's kind of what Bobby's all about. It's just like lyrics that sound cool, but then if you peel it back a little bit, there is some meaning to what I was actually writing about.
That's cool.
And I think we are trying to move in that direction more. Like, we're writing some stuff for this record now too. And
yeah, it seems maybe everything's a little bit more intentional.
Well, I think like in the past, especially for the first 2 records, we just like wrote the song so rapidly, and it would be all of us in a room with our instruments together. And so it's pretty difficult to keep up with that, like lyrically and vocally, when we're all like, you know, blasting our amps and Carson's going to town on the kit. And so I think on this one, it gave us opportunity to like not do that and give us time to write them out, which made the songs more like structured and more, I think, interesting in some points and stuff.
I also think with this record, we kind of took, like, not really consciously, but something I heard from David Bowie a long time ago was the reason why he wanted to do all these characters, you know, like the reason why he became someone else for every record and stuff was because it was much easier for him to write thinking that he's somebody else, you know? Like when you're got your name attached to it and like your thoughts attached to it, it kind of gets freaky to like be that vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so having like with this record, we have like this whole concept of these 2 characters, Bobby and Janet, and, you know, like this outlandish story of space time and, you know, the deep cosmos and stuff.
Yeah.
Just wait till the comic comes out.
The comic, that's a little teaser for the little mages listening to Fred Talks here. We got a comic coming that is made by a bunch of cool Boise artists that just kind of illustrates the concept of the record. But it was really easy to write for because we're not writing Moon Owl's Mages music, you know, we're writing music to literally go with this other universe.
For Bobby and Janet, for a world you're creating. Yeah. What's the tell us about the cover art?
Oh yeah. So
Because I don't know what I'm looking at.
yeah, no one does.
There's layers.
So the So Carson, drummer Carson, he does all the
Kind of like the artwork kind of thing.
yeah, he does like most of the artwork for us, almost all of it. He's done he's kind of like the visionary kind of cat, you know. And his idea actually was to make a real worm, and so he made a skeleton out of wire, and then he covered it in clay, and then took a photo of that, and then he photoshopped, you know, the glasses and the little mouth and stuff.
Mouth time.
So that's real worm, and then the background is an acrylic painting actually done by Noble.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good work. Good
So
work.
it's cool because it's like real tangible art. Like I still have the painting, and Carson definitely still has the worm.
Dude, that's sweet, man. See, it's what's cool about it, I think, is you're releasing music, yes, but what you're also doing is you are creating a universe that has all these other layers. The artwork, the cover art is tangible. There is a comic that's coming with it. There may or may not be a music video.
Oh, come on.
Go on.
Yanking my chain
Oh,
over here.
yeah.
Bank of my chain.
Yeah, spanking my chain, and so it's just. I mean, dude, like we're just creating time, man. Creating fun things to get in with it.
Dude, that's so right too. And the other thing about the album cover is it is a time worm. So, dude, creating time.
And that's why
That's what I'm talking about.
that's
baby.
why the worm moon is so important to the magic of this deal. Is it just all fit together real well. But back to the cover art thing. I'm pretty sure that, and I may be wrong about this. Maybe Jack, you could correct me. I'm pretty sure Carson made that worm before we had any idea of a concept.
Whoa.
Like, and it just kind of worked its way into the story.
He's a big worm guy, huh?
Big worm guy.
I think it just kind of. I think he's a fan of the early bird.
Well, we all know what the early bird gets.
But you know what they say about that? The early bird gets the worm, but the late mouse gets the cheese.
And I think those two phrases don't go together.
No, they way do. Think about it.
I know.
No, think about it.
No, I know. Look. The early bird gets the worm. The late mouse gets the cheese because the first mouse, obviously, his. Yep.
Well, what about the owl that's taking the late mouse?
And what about the second worm? He's probably pretty lucky.
Oh, that's true. The late worm.
Late worm's lucky. So it's like this.
Lucky.
Late worm is lucky. So who said this? Early to bed, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise.
That's Benjamin Franklin.
And you know what he forgot about? The late worm.
Late worm.
Oh, true.
Early to bed, a little bit late to rise makes a worm alive.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, man.
You know what I always say? Early to bed and early to rise
Yeah.
makes you chill and cranking like Ben Franking. Frankenstein.
I've heard you say that a couple times.
Yeah, it comes up in conversation only like when we're talking business.
When we're talking, yeah, this is a business smart conversation.
When we're talking market value.
Yeah. So Carson loves worms.
Yeah, I got that out of the way.
When you guys start, I mean, it's probably so different for every song, but like, does when you guys come in, you have a riff or you have something, you run with it, and then you record this part of the song, then you record that part of the song, and it all comes together. But there's got to be a moment where you're like, okay, we're pushing the big red button, we got to get it. Does that ever happen?
Oh, well, I mean, it like you said, it is always different. A lot of the songs started from us just like hitting record and then just playing, like without any sort of idea or any, like we'll all just kind of vibe until we figure something out.
Right.
And then sometimes it'll be the opposite actually, where it's like we'll come up with a riff and we're like, hit stop, like because we'll be recording and then it's like we need to listen to whatever that was
And
try
build off of that. That's sweet, dude.
which I feel like is what we do a lot of the time. It's a but yeah, this record was full of firsts. Like I think that we did a lot of it different than we have. And
Like what?
Well, like Bobby was something that I had been working on for a while with no actual intention of ever, doing it with a particular band.
In terms of that style of songwriting for you?
No, that song in specific,
Oh, okay.
like,
Yeah.
it was a progression that I had come up with on my own, and I think I wrote like the first verse and chorus, and then I showed it to the band, and everybody's like, "Dude, let's figure something out with that."
Yeah.
And so then after that, we wrote it all together. But it was like, it was most of the song, and we pieced it together as a band after that, which I don't feel like we've ever done before, at least from my end. I know that you've had some, like, you've come with a lot of riffs. Like, I remember Brain Bog was something you came up with.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jack really cranked on that riff.
Good job, Jack.
And but yeah, I mean, it is always different, and we're very open to different ways of doing it. I think that's what kept it fresh over time.
The other first about that on the same topic was Step On It, because you and Liam came to practice one day and you're like, hey, we like kind of worked this out, and it was like
it started as something that we were working on together.
Oh, that's
and no
right.
one was hyped on it. Like,
yeah,
everybody's like, let's just forget about that idea.
And that's got to happen a lot.
It's happened a lot.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad thing, but I'm saying I'm sure any touring band or whatever, probably when they're in rehearsal or practice, there's just a lot of stuff that hits the floor that's like.
And that's what's funny about this too is like we used to do that more. We used to throw stuff in the garbage too quickly, and I remember like a couple really tense practices when we were like one of us felt strongly about something, the other one disagreed. Or the other three or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, Noble like took it home with Liam and was like, let's actually write this. And then they brought it back and we're like, oh, that's like way fresh.
It was definitely just the kind of thing where like none of us really had any idea what it was going to be like. But I also think it was just kind of a frustrated time. Like, I don't think y'all were like dismissive of the idea. I just don't think that we had the juice going like to do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
But on the way home, I was like, I feel pretty passionately about that riff we just came up with, and I think we should work on it. So Liam and I came in here where we're sitting right now.
Bingo.
And freaking, we were just goofing and gaffing. The way we came up with the idea of Step On It was we were like gonna get some McDonald's to like fuel our creative thinking, you know?
And that's what McDonald's is for. I just want to say that right
That's
now.
right.
Quick shout out to McDonald's. You know, they're losing members all the time. They're losing customers left and right, and we need to bring them back.
I think if anything, if we're doing anything here, we're trying to increase the customer count for McDonald's.
Yeah, it's
That's
only
right.
99 billion right now. We need to go up.
That's right. Let's make it 199 billion.
Yeah, more.
What?
Yep.
No, but anyway, we got in the car to go, and Liam was like, should we go to McDonald's? And I was like, yeah, Step On It. And then we just both looked at each other and we're like, dude, that is some Parliament shit. Like, that is like that feels like a title of a George Clinton song.
Yeah.
And then when we came back, we're like, let's just base it around that, dude.
Step on it.
It feels like it just felt so like it just felt like something funky. You know?
Which is kind of cool because like I knew the reference of Step On It, like that's a pretty common phrase. But in my mind, when you brought it back and it was like, oh, this is Step On It, how did my mind like something completely different? And that is of like a bug or like a dance move.
Oh.
Like reminiscent of like the stanky leg.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube.
And and that
Look up the Dougie while you're on there.
while you're on that YouTube's, look up bugs getting stepped on.
Bugs getting stepped on. What else?
Worms.
Look up Bug Wars. I don't know if it's humane. They call it live feeding of bugs.
Oh, yep. Or look up this. Ooh, ooh.
Oh yeah, look up.
How do you spell that?
It's O space O. Ooh.
But it's lowercase o, uppercase O, lowercase o.
And you probably add a little tilde on top of the, so it's ooh, ooh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, tilde on the A or the O?
No A, only O.
Well, see,
Ooh, ooh.
how does the...
I see the A at the end.
my thing is that I think it'd be
yeah.
like quadruple O's WA. Ooh.
Yeah. Do it again. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, there we go.
Ethan's really good at it.
Ooh, ooh. You want to know why I'm good at it?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing about that is that that's the monkey, Gibbon's monkey.
Give me a monkey.
Because you're Ethan Gibbon.
I'm Ethan Gibbon.
So when did you first realize you could do that? Like, what was like the turning point?
You know what's
for
funny
you?
about sounds and stuff? I'll tell you this right now. I've had this happen a couple times. If I'm like, I can make that sound, I'll just make it. I don't think about it. I'm just like, but it's not every sound. It's
Just
only
like-
some sounds in my life.
What are the other ones?
What is that?
Is that an owl?
Is that a cat?
All of it, dude. It's supposed to be a pigeon.
Oh, yeah, pigeon. There's not enough pigeons in Boise.
Yeah, not enough pigeons. That's about
Think
it.
of other good noises.
I can do this one.
Yeah, I remember
that
that
probably
one.
sounds freaky in the mic. What about this
Yeah.
one?
Oh yeah, whistle and hum. I can't do it very well. I can do this one. It sounds quiet though. Like a little hamster, or like a little bird, a little chick.
Yeah, this is good.
Anyways, so if you're on YouTube, just look up the Gibbons monkey.
We got 3 things for you to look up.
Yeah.
Gibbons, Stanky Lang, Party Rock Anthem, and a 4th special guest one, the Dougie.
The Dougie.
Yeah.
And all of that went into the making of Step On It.
That's right.
Well, yeah, we're all about noises. That's our main thing. We love noises. And
Make a
this
lot of-
record is full of them.
It's noisy. This one is noisy.
You press play, you can't get a second of silence till it's over.
It's true.
Even between songs. Every song fades into the next.
Uh-huh.
And that's great.
Quite a few of them do. It's I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it'll be made more fun by the next record we do because
Yeah.
right now it's
It's
fresh.
too much.
It's too much.
You're
and it's fresh.
here live, dude, man. The record is too much.
It's too much.
A lot going on. Well,
No,
You'll probably hate it.
I thought
Don't
you were
listen to it.
referring to like giving it time for our sake and how it will be more fresh once we stop listening to it for a little bit.
Oh, I think
That's
you're
what I
right
was
about
referring
that. But I also think from a listener standpoint, like, this is definitely like a departure from our regular deal. Mm-hmm. And I think it'll,
Yeah.
like, there's, I'm sure no one's thinking, what if the funk forever? But I think that once we put out this next rock and roll one, it'll feel like, okay, that was just a little,
that was a little
a little departure.
pit stop. Yeah, a little quick. So first of all, we got to talk about the saxophone, and I know you post a little bit about the saxophone. Your guy, his name is Liam. Not the bassist, Liam.
No, Liam Marchand.
That saxophone was nasty, nasty,
nasty.
good.
Are you talking about the first song?
Yeah.
He is nasty. He is one of the most prolific musicians I've ever met.
He came in and he stayed. You know what I'm saying? Like he came in and it wasn't like, oh, it's actually. It was like this is he's stepping on business.
And
is
all
what
that
he's
was
doing.
recorded in Chicago.
What?
So he wasn't even in the room with us when he did
Dang.
it. We had a few phone calls with him about ideas, but it was more just like we sent him the tracks, and he's so wicked and kick ass that he's just like, I think I know exactly the vibe these guys are looking for, and then
Dude,
just goes above and
crazy.
beyond.
Yeah.
No, I still talk to him every once in a while on the phone, and he is like seriously like, I'll have a 30-minute conversation with him, and I'll leave it being like, I don't know anything about music, because he just like. He's thinking on like multiple dimensions of what music can be, and like, I don't know. He's turned me on to some ideas of music that changed me greatly.
Dude.
Oh, the other thing that I just remembered just in that moment when I said,
Right now?
yeah, just right now. One time we had him a couple years ago in the studio with us, just like rehearsing and jamming. And I think that was when we kind of birthed the idea of like a funk record. Like I remember we had an idea. We had the idea of prehistoric nature.
Which that song, dude, friggin', that's a great one. Sorry, I'm
Thanks,
just
man.
saying.
Thanks, man. And we were kind of jamming on that sort of idea. And I know this because I looked at the recording the other day, but he was just like taking us to the next level. And so I think that kind of maybe inspired us in some way.
And how'd you come across Levi, this boy?
Liam Marchand.
Oh yeah, sorry, Liam.
His name is Levi Denham. He's from Chicago. No, he's from Boise. He actually went to high school with my older brother. He was in high school at the same time as my brother, and they were decent buddies. He would come over to the house and hang out and stuff. And then he started coming out to some of the blues jams and stuff, playing sax. And he actually was in that band Suit I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What, really?
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was in and out a lot just because.
Busy guy.
Yeah, he's a busy guy, and
You guys were younger than him too, probably around
we
that
were
time. Yeah.
we were a little bit younger. He was actually Kevin's age, but yeah, it was just like, I mean, we played a lot of shows with him, and our best ones were with him. But no, he's one of my good buddies, and he went to U of I. He was gone all that time, so I just see him when he came back. Actually, he was my brother's roommate when they were in college as well.
So he's got roots with you.
It's true.
And you knew he could blow them pipes.
Oh, man.
Big time.
Big time.
And he can pretty much do it all. Like, he's a crazy bass player. He can play guitar real well. He used to play drums in this punk band called Idiomotor that we played.
Really?
We played a show with. And that's when he sat in with us on sax. And then we're like, dude, we got to freaking do some jams with this guy.
Yeah. That's cool, man. So those connections, man, those connections will get you places.
And that's what love is all about. That's what I was talking about on the other podcast that these people won't know nothing about.
No, they gotta wait. They gotta wait about a month, and then they'll hear that. So I've been curious about this for probably, what year is it?
25.
Probably 20 years. When when somebody like these songs are new to the world, fairly old to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, about how long did it take to get things polished and then ready to go? And then this is a question referring to previous records. As the mixist, how often do you open up old tracks? So you can go with whatever order you want.
Okay, timeline of this record? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like said before, I've heard the song like hundreds of times.
Yeah.
I mixed it over the course of like probably a solid like 6 months.
Yeah.
Data, I mean, we released Data like summer last year. So yeah.
Right. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were writing them over the course of the past, like, since the last record came out, since like 2022. So like 3 years. Mm-hmm. I mean, we kind of like didn't write for a long time and went through dry spells and then kind of wrote a lot near the end of last year maybe. But so yeah, it's been like years in the making, and then it took us like total time like 10 months probably from like starting to record to like now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's been a little bit.
It's been a while.
And we've been busy too during that time. Like we were touring and playing shows and doing other stuff.
Yeah, you're not just passively like, nothing's going on. You're doing other stuff.
And we're not like actively every day. Like it's not taking that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just interesting because it's always been funny to me how new the songs sound because they are new. But to you guys, it's like, dude, we've been jamming out this stuff. Because at the show you played at the Shrine, I think you played Data, but you might have also played Step On It. I don't know.
Yeah, we've been playing the songs live for a little bit of time.
Like know that. I mean, you know what line I'm thinking of. I know my song well before I start singing. Who said that?
I know my song well before I start singing. That's Harriet Tubman.
She did say that.
She did say that.
She was big into singing.
No, who is that?
That's Bob Dylan.
Oh.
That's a hard time. I think it's a hard rain's gonna fall. He's like,
funny.
I know my song. So like you guys know all this. I just think it's cool. It's interesting to think about. Like you guys master it, then you sit on it, and then you step on it.
Yeah.
True enough.
True enough.
Well, no, I think that we did spend a lot of time on these songs once we decided we were going to make the record, but I think that between us deciding to make these records and us finishing Crackle, it was a lot of playing shows. Like we spent a lot, like we didn't honestly, like I think we might have wrote 1 or 2 songs in that time, but it was like one of them is a song that we're going to put on the next record, and the other one was Prehistoric Nature, but I also sang it for like a year without writing any lyrics. Like every show, I would sing a completely different lyric.
That's fun.
Yeah, and that's I mean, it kind of just tumbled until we were like, all right, well, this rhythm's good enough. Let's just write some garbage for it.
Yeah, let's throw some stuff together.
Just to fit the record mostly.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because I was telling this to someone the other day too, but like the record isn't even exciting to me personally anymore because I spent so much time mixing and stuff. And I'm proud of it and I love it and stuff, but what's like really exciting to me is the stuff that we haven't even like written yet. Like that's where my mind is at.
That's cool to think about.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird to like, I don't know, like revisit it. And
like is it maybe not hard? Hard might not be the right word, but like, is it weird to answer questions about something that you did 10 months ago, even up to 3 years ago? You know what I mean? Because if someone asked me something I did 3 years ago, I would probably, I might ask him like, what's your problem? Because
What's your
yeah, like what do you need to know? So that could probably be interesting, maybe.
Well, I think after today, like after it was actually on the internet, I had a new appreciation for it because it was like when we were leaving rehearsal last night, Carson was like, "Should we listen to it now that it's out?" And I was like, "Nah, we shouldn't. I'm really not into
I
it."
like that. I
But
like
then
that. Yeah.
this morning I woke up and like, people were posting about it on their story, and it was making me, it was warming my little heart. So I was
Maybe
like,
kind
"I'll
of
go listen."
reignites a little that spark.
And then seeing it on like Spotify and hitting play, I was like, it reminded me of why we do it, because it's like, it's not like we're making these songs to listen to them, but we are, like, the whole point of making music is you want to make something that you have, like, that you would want to hear,
Mm-hmm.
like you hear a song on Spotify that just pops up and you're like, whoa, this has such a specific vibe. I would love to do a song with this kind of vibe, but then add this tweak to that vibe. Like,
Yeah.
not necessarily progression or lyrics or anything, just more like the way a song makes you feel. Because in my mind, I think that, like Wormish Number, the one that is, like, in the middle of the record, it's kind of a bit upper beat.
That
When
one's
we-
sweet.
When we went to make that, we're like, let's make, like, a rock and roll James Brown song, Like, we wanted to have a quick killer on the record like James Brown could do, And obviously it's not a James Brown song. The voice on the record, we had like semitones, like 6 semitones down, so it's like, "Who has awoken me from that?"
You're gonna die. I don't know if
Exactly.
James Brown was singing about that
No,
kind of thing. Yeah.
it's true, but it's like, it's the kind of thing where it's like we love James Brown, we love that old heavy funk stuff, and we're like, we want to create that kind of vibe with our own, rock influence. Like, we want. It's just like listening to it today made me think, you know what? This is like if I didn't make it, I would like it, And that's what you should aim for. Is like, if
Yeah.
I want somebody to hear this.
It's like Rick Rubin said, man, the audience comes last. But that doesn't mean you forget about them.
That's
It just
true.
means you're making it for you guys.
That's right on, dude.
That's for sure. I think that was kind of our whole genesis of this record too. Is like I remember personally, I think it was when we were making like Step On It. It was just so much different than what we had done that I was like, this feels so good because like we don't even consider like what we're supposed to be doing, what people expect maybe from us.
Right.
We're just like writing what we think is fun right now, and it was like so freeing.
That's got to be liberating, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be like, I'm just here to, I'm just here to have a good time. Enjoy it. Enjoy the process of creation.
Yeah, it's like way more exciting.
And when I look back on making this record, it's like all I really remember is just like setting up the mic to record and then just laughing, Like when Jack and I
that's
are
sweet,
like,
dude.
some really fun stuff from this record was like we recorded a lot of our vocals at the same time, like because on some of the like on Data we're going back and forth on the verse. And like we probably did 10 takes of that, but not because we couldn't get the parts right, just because we were like dancing and making each other laugh the whole time, It's just like
Yeah.
it is just like you get together with your buds and laugh for a while, and then you have a record because of it. It's a really powerful thing.
And that to reference kind of the podcast that's going to come out later. But that's kind of, I think that's the stuff that's the most well received, is when you can tell there's this sort of candor, it's candidness and authenticity to it, of just like, we're just buddies hanging out and having a good time.
That's right on. And that's what I've thought for a while about Moon's Mages is, I think that people may like us for different reasons, but I think the overarching thing that we've kept through all of our sounds so far is that it's just fun music. Like we're not trying to do anything other than have fun. And if serious music comes from the fun, then that's perfect too.
Dude, and that's, I've been to various shows and whatnot, and I've seen if you guys are playing second or last or whatever, I've seen groups of people that out of the whole audience, some of them aren't moving when another band's playing, whatever. Then another band comes up, some more people are moving, but when you guys come up, it does seem like everybody is moving one way or another. And I think it's not, I'm not talking about other bands. That's not my intention, but I'm just saying that to say I think a lot of people can recognize that aspect from you guys and from anybody when they just come there just to do that.
I think
You know what I
some of
mean?
that might have to do just with sincerity, because I don't know if it's necessarily like how much energy you have on stage or how much fun you're having even. It's more just like, is what this person is doing for some ulterior purpose other than they want to, you know? Like, there's a lot of people I've seen, like, and obviously it's all valid. Like, I'm not knocking anybody. Like, non-sincere music is just as valid, you know?
Yeah, it's all music.
It's not what I gravitate to, you know, but like, I think there is a lot of people that play music because they want people to look at them, or they play music because they want other musicians to be like, you're a musician, you know?
You're real, man. You're one of the real ones. Yeah.
But it's like, the only reason I've ever played music was because it's the only thing that can scratch that itch, you know? It's like, I wake up in the morning and I feel that itch and I think, I need to scratch that thing, you know?
You need to scratch on it. Is what you gotta do.
Oh,
dude.
scratch on it. I think on that note too, like, well, thank you for saying that first of all, but
the best. Hey, I've been watching a lot of Hey Arnold recently. You know what they do?
No.
This is they thumb in, thumb out. Ooh,
Ooh,
that's what Arnold. That's
cool.
what Arnold and Gerald do. Hey Arnold, look it up.
Write that down, little mages.
You've seen Hey Arnold, yeah?
Yeah, he's the boy that ate the football.
Sure, man.
I
think
Never
he-
came back out.
Anyways,
Yeah, thanks, Ethan. But I think my I guess the way that I like to go about playing shows, and honestly anything with the band, is like, if it's fun, then it's worthwhile. If it's not, what's the point?
yeah. that's
Like,
it.
I get up on stage and I get like giddy because it's just so funny. Like, I love looking back and seeing Carson's face drumming,
Yeah.
slamming the cymbals,
Yeah.
and I look over at Noble and we're both doing a stupid little like hook from Bobby, doing the smallest dance we can. Like, it's just so silly. And
Elias is tall and he's on top. That's not his name, is it? Elias.
Elias,
Elias
yeah.
is tall and he's on the
keys
on
and stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shaking, you know.
And he's standing up on the whatever he's standing.
Dude, it's just
Super
like,
tall guy.
it's so funny. And if all that we get out of it is that I have a little bit of fun on a Saturday night, then that's good enough for me, you know.
That's all I'm trying to do is have fun on a Saturday night.
Well, and I
That's
think
great,
luckily
dude.
we have
That's
been
great.
the purveyors of fun for others as well. And I think that's a huge silver lining to all of this stuff, is that we can help to pull people out of their darkness for at least an hour or
At least a
wherever.
little bit.
Yeah.
That's great, man. I think it's a great record, dude. I don't have a lot more to say, I don't think.
Thanks, Ethan.
I mean,
Thanks,
we're already
guy.
up to like 42 minutes of talking just
Yeah,
about this.
isn't that
I'd just
crazy?
like to say, Ethan, thank you for talking to us, because
Yes.
and I'd like to compliment your interviewing style. We've been interviewed quite a bit, and I really do appreciate how normal of a conversation you lead.
Thank you,
because
man.
a lot of the times it feels like too professional, like you were saying, or like kind of too stringent on
Yeah.
form.
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that, man.
I think you really got it. I think it
Thanks,
could be
man.
something that you could do for a long time. You could do
Thank
this
you.
for the rest of your life until you die.
Get ready.
Believe it? Can you
Also,
believe it?
we did this impromptu, little mages. We weren't planning on this, but I was here, Noble was here, you know. So these questions weren't prepared, rehearsed.
No, dude, this is just stuff I've been thinking about. And I thank you for saying that about it. I do take that compliment seriously. I think it's way more interesting to hear conversations between two people who are interested in what either party has to say. I've done interviews, my people have interviewed me for other stuff I got going on. And I was in this interview one time and this guy literally asked me a question. And I was like, oh, this, that, and this, that. And I left some things in my answer for him to respond to. And he just goes,
Question about.
and just go, next question.
Weird.
And I'm like, dude, so anyways, thank you for saying that. Appreciate it.
I mean,
appreciate it.
I know exactly what you're saying. Like, where they're clearly just reading off a sheet, and you're just, it's like, yeah, just give an answer. It's like a difference between Q&A and a conversation. You're leading a conversation. I
yeah.
appreciate it, man. It's good stuff.
Thanks, guys. Well, let's call it, because I also don't know how long can you record a video on
I don't know. We'll see if it's still rolling.
Let's see if Tim Cook got it figured out. Thanks,
Well,
guys.
I'd like to give a thank you to the Little Mages of America and the beyond.
Yeah.
The Little Mages all over the world. We looked at the Spotify analytics. We have like 100 listeners in Mongolia. So shout out to the Little Mages in
dude.
Mongolia.
Moon Owl's Mages in Mongolia. Talk about alliteration, huh, boys?
No kidding.
Okay.
And we got listeners other places too, but Mongolia really just stuck out to me, and it really is hyping me up recently. So
No, that's
thank you
so
to the Little
sweet,
Mages
dude.
in Mongolia.
Sweet, dude. All right, thanks, boys. Catch you on
Thank
the
you,
next
Ethan.
record.
We love you, man.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
And we'll see you on the Little Mage of America future.
On the email.